Some artists make hits. Some artists make memories. But once in a generation, someone arrives who makes people feel understood. Juice WRLD, born Jared Higgins, didn't just create music. He created a space where millions could see themselves, a voice for those who felt unseen. From the quiet streets of Chicago to sold-out arenas across the world, his journey was brief, but the impact would last forever. This is the story of why Juice WRLD still inspires millions. Jared Higgins grew up like any other kid in a small suburban neighborhood. Quiet, thoughtful, endlessly curious. While other children played outside, he often sat with a notebook or a controller in hand, creating worlds in his mind. Music surrounded him, not always rap, but melodies that clung to him long after they stopped playing. From a young age, he carried a deep sensitivity, an ability to notice, to feel, to imagine. These early years, filled with observation and imagination, would later become the foundation for his artistry. It wasn't obvious then that this quiet boy would one day become one of the most influential voices in modern music. But the seeds were quietly growing. Even as a teenager, Jared's connection to music was profound. He tapped rhythms on his desk, wrote fragments of lyrics in notebooks, and practiced freestyling with friends. These weren't just hobbies. They were the beginnings of something extraordinary. Music wasn't just sound to him. It was a way to understand himself and the world around him. In a world where many teenagers struggle to express their emotions, Jared had found a way to channel his inner thoughts into melody. By his teenage years, Jared discovered hip-hop. It wasn't just the beats that captivated him, but the ability of artists to turn feelings into words and words into stories. Inspired, he began experimenting, recording into makeshift microphones in his bedroom. Friends would watch in awe as he freestyled entire songs in one sitting, lyrics flowing naturally, melodies emerging effortlessly. It was a gift no one could ignore. He didn't just mimic others. He transformed inspiration into something uniquely his own. Encouraged, Jared uploaded his early tracks to SoundCloud. They weren't polished, they weren't perfect, but they were real. And that authenticity resonated. Listeners didn't just play his songs. They connected with them. They felt understood. And the name Juice WRLD, chosen to signify taking over the world and honoring a musical influence, began to appear in online feeds, slowly, then with increasing momentum. Every lyric, every beat, every melody carried pieces of himself. Juice WRLD wasn't just creating music. He was giving the world a glimpse into his mind, a window into the thoughts and emotions he had carried in silence. And slowly, the world began to notice. Juice WRLD's rise was both sudden and inevitable. His early tracks began receiving attention, streams climbing steadily, comments flooding in. People resonated with the honesty in his voice, the raw emotion in his melodies, the way he didn't pretend to have everything figured out. In a world where so many artists seemed manufactured, Juice stood apart. He was real. He was relatable. And in that relatability, he built a bond with his listeners that many artists spend decades trying to achieve. Recording sessions were an extension of his mind. He would walk into a studio with nothing more than ideas floating in his head. Beats would play and melodies would flow instantly. Engineers and producers watched in disbelief as he freestyled full songs in one take. It wasn't just talent, it was genius. By the time his first major hits were released, Juice WRLD had already created a blueprint for the kind of honest, emotionally driven music that would define his career. His first live performances were electrifying. Small venues transformed into intimate communities where fans felt connected to him personally. Every cheer, every sing-along, every emotional moment reinforced one truth. Juice WRLD wasn't just an artist. He was a companion to the millions navigating the ups and downs of life. Juice WRLD's music wasn't just entertainment. It was connection. His lyrics became a mirror for millions of listeners who saw themselves in his words. Songs like Lucid Dreams and All Girls Are the Same spoke of heartbreak, anxiety, and longing. Universal emotions that transcended borders, languages, and cultures. Fans didn't just hear Juice WRLD, they felt him. They saw their own struggles reflected in his melodies, giving them a sense of understanding and companionship. The magic of Juice WRLD was that it felt effortless yet profound. He didn't overthink. He didn't polish until sterile. He simply expressed. Every beat, every lyric, every improvisation carried authenticity. That authenticity is why his music still resonates with new generations of fans today. While his music conveyed vulnerability and emotion, Juice WRLD's dedication behind the scenes was equally extraordinary. He spent countless hours in the studio, recording, writing, and experimenting. Thousands of songs, many unreleased, were created during these sessions. He worked tirelessly, not for fame, but because music was a necessity, a lifeline, a way to articulate what words alone could not. This relentless pursuit of creation inspires countless young artists today. Juice WRLD proved that passion and consistency are as critical as talent. For him, there was no shortcut. Every song, every melody, every verse was a reflection of discipline fused with creativity. Even after his passing, Juice WRLD's voice didn't fade. It grew. New fans discovered his music daily. Old fans returned to it for comfort. Emerging artists studied his freestyles, his melodies, his storytelling. Every lyric became a lesson, every song a testament to honesty and emotion. Juice WRLD's influence spans continents, from Chicago to London, Tokyo to Nigeria, reminding the world that music can transcend boundaries when it's genuine. Millions still connect to his work because it is timeless. His lyrics continue to offer solace, hope, and understanding. His melodies remain a lifeline for anyone searching for a voice that validates their feelings. Juice WRLD's legacy isn't measured by chart positions alone. It is measured by hearts touched, lives changed, and the inspiration that continues to ripple through generations. Juice WRLD inspires millions because he dared to be himself. He embraced vulnerability. He admitted confusion, pain, and uncertainty. He created music that didn't shy away from human emotion. Millions of fans find comfort in his voice, knowing that it's okay to feel deeply, to be imperfect, and to navigate life without always having the answers. His music continues to guide new artists and listeners alike. It connects generations, offering insight, empathy, and inspiration. Juice WRLD's legacy lives not only in streams and charts, but in the hearts of every person who has felt seen through his lyrics. His message was simple, yet powerful. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be different. You are not alone. This is why Juice WRLD still inspires millions. His voice, his honesty, and his artistry continue to echo, reminding the world that real emotion is timeless and connection is eternal.